Hey guys, if you're there, nobody's there. Somebody is there. I just said nobody's there, and then things started populating on my screen. So hang on with us. We are about 3.5 minutes away from starting up officially. Thanks for being with us. Thanks for continuing to join us. We will be with you very shortly. So hang in there, and we'll be right back. Hey everybody, we are just a couple of minutes away from starting. It is 4:58 p.m. right here in Utah, and we are 2 minutes away from starting, just inside 2 minutes that is, and we'll be with you shortly. Howdy to everybody. Bill Hankey, thanks from Euless for the Texas shout out. Glad to have you with us, and glad to have everybody with us. Hang out, and we'll be right back. Thanks. Well, there we are. Stop looking so indignant, Alan. Slide your chair over here. We're saying hi to the good people of M. And well, it looks like I'm sucking up all the screen time. Come over here. Be peers, shoulder to shoulder, buddy to buddy. We're taking care of business here.
You're like Conan O'Brien with those really small desks that make you look bigger. I don't know how he does
All right. That. We are live, and thankfully I have edit power on the final version of what gets released. So I'm going to give us a 3, 2, 1, and then we're going to start for real. You ready?
I'm ready.
3, 2, 1. Welcome, everybody. It's Tuesday night, 5 o'clock in Utah, 7 o'clock in New York. And one day I'm going to have all those time zones charted out before me so I could say all of my greetings to Australia, New Zealand, UK, Canada. Our own resident Canadian, Alan Templeman, is here with me right now. We're excited to have you with us. We're excited to have you with us. Alan is less excited, if you can't tell from his demeanor right now, because I've pulled him away from doing the actual work that we require. Is that true?
That is partially true.
But for good reason. We're going to tell people about what has been. We're going to admit some mistakes and some shortcomings.
That's easy to do.
We're going to tell what we're doing right now.
All right.
And then we're going to tell where we're going in the future. Is that fair?
Let's do
And
that.
what people can expect and why it is good news and why we are embracing even the fact that we know there are shortcomings and hiccups to what you have been expecting and what you've been experiencing. And then going forward, we are really going to have an awesome thing.
Yes.
Okay, let's start with, now we've got a screen. Oh no.
We muted the whole
I wonder
time?
if we were. Should we start 3, 2, 1 again? I don't think so. This would say,
Is that someone that would have told us?
yes, let's see. Now,
Can't
did you
hear
hear
anything.
all of the comedy, or did you just hear like when I started talking right now? We can hear it all. Oh, that's also a little. So we apologize.
Okay, they
for
said
everything
they
you can
heard
hear.
it.
Okay. Again, I can edit that part out. We're going to look so bright when this
Seriously,
is
you
done.
can't script this stuff.
Because who would want to watch it? So we are diving into, this is Alan Templeman, Senior Vice President of Technology, Information, Marketing Support. Really, you got a very stern look right now, but
Well,
you
it's
wonder if I'm
serious.
gonna-
I mean, you're saying, yeah.
I'm covering everything you do, and he does a lot, and he is tireless, and he and I think, have the best banter at work, and it doesn't always sound friendly, but each of us knows that we're joking and laughing, and we're busting each other up like brothers, and people around us get uncomfortable. Our intent is to not make you uncomfortable today. I will be only effusive in my praise of Alan because he deserves it, he's earned it, and he's doing some fantastic things for us. I will also deny it at the end of this call. And back to business as
This is
usual.
being recorded, you know that.
Darn it. All right, moving on. So where have we been? Alan, what happened in the last 6 weeks?
Well, so everybody knows that we switched over to a new system, which has not been without some growing pains. And we understand that. We've also been straddling two systems. Our old system, our legacy system, which some of you still have access to, and that will all be discontinued here in just a matter of, this week anyways, and our new system. And the reason we've done that is to be able to maintain the integrity of those websites that you were using, of your cards that you had printed out that have your domain name, and we call it your web alias.
Or your replicated site.
Your replicated site.
Reference, yeah.
Yep, that's right. So a lot of you have invested, content and dollars and time in these websites, and so we didn't want to take everything down, which is very understandable. And so what we've been working on is a conversion process that would allow us to be able to give you the best of both worlds. Okay, a significant improvement on where we have come from, and certainly a significant improvement on where we are right now. So what we're going to see, and we'll show you just a little bit of this today, because it's, I'm going to say, every time I say it's just 24 hours away, the 25th hour ticks by, and Dave looks at me and goes, 24 hours, huh? You believe that, because that's exactly what he does. Your poor wife. So the good news, though, is that it is imminent, and we're working tirelessly on this through the night, and I anticipate having this ready to deploy for all M Network distributors, members, by tomorrow. But we're going to say, now, see, there he goes again. But he's right, because he knows me. So tomorrow is Wednesday.
Hold on, that's not at you. That's
No.
at systems.
That's
at the frustration that comes up. We have to be honest.
true. There's
Things happen outside of our control. So if we miss
before
a
the
deadline,
end of the week.
thank you. That's
End of the
great.
week.
So it's Tuesday night. By Friday,
Yep.
That's a realistic expectation. If we deliver tomorrow, bonus points.
There you go.
If we don't deliver tomorrow on your promise, but we deliver Thursday, it feels like we've lost something. But if we can say end of the week, we're comfortable, and you should be able to address whatever hiccups come and roadblocks and
Hiccups
hurdles.
always come with technology.
Yeah.
No, Dave is absolutely right. And that's why he has less hair than I do, because he worries about these things. But that's because of experience. And so thank heavens for that. But yes, by end of this week, what you're going to see are new replicating pages, landing pages that will be tied into our new system, and will be seamless. And so the redirects, so before, you'll remember that your replicating page, you would have picked, we call it a web alias, and that's, Scott, .m.network, or, Josephine, or whatever it might be. That's called a web alias, right? And the URL structure, the way that you would type that in was, scott.m.network. And so what you're going to see before the end of the week is, by the end of the week, just to stay true to what our commitments are, is that we're going to be converting over from the m.networks, and we're going to have scott.mnetwork.com. Okay, and those, you're not going to have to do anything about that. It's automatically going to redirect to the mnetwork.com rather than m.network.
Let's reiterate that, because one of the big concerns is that people say, I just spent, I don't know, tens or dozens or hundreds of dollars on a marketing tool, something that says the name of my, someone might say mhydration.m.network is what I have been known as for 16 months.
Right.
And there's a fear that you're not able to have that going forward. You may want to change it because mnetwork.com is a more friendly web address, but you don't have to change anything because of the redirect position. So if you've got I love my msticks.m.network on the vinyl on your car, or your license plate has been changed, or your business card, or your ringtone on your phone, or whatever you have that promotes you and your business, that can stay, and it will redirect to the new, and I think we're going to try and duplicate the existing prefix, which is what comes before this .m.network.
That's exactly.
And that will carry over to whatever the new site will be, which is mnetwork.com.
Yeah, so Dave has said that wonderfully, and that's why we have Dave here, because he is our communicator. And so he will correct me in any instance where...
I'm supporting you. That's not correction.
Well, correction can be support.
Okay.
Yeah. So absolutely correct. You will not have to change anything when it comes to your previous web addresses for your replicating pages. Okay? Those will automatically direct. And just to give you a little peek behind the curtain, and most of you don't even care about that, but I'm going to tell you the reason we haven't done the redirect up until this week is because we haven't been ready to have all of those replicating sites on the new platform to be able to redirect them to. Okay, so we really needed to make sure that we had something that we could redirect everything to. And now that that's in place, we can show you a little snippet. I think Brian said, go ahead and show them just a little snippet.
You want to?
But if Dave says no, I mean,
I'm all
I always defer to the older generation.
Always. That's truer words were never spoken. All right, you want to take over?
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. So let's go to. Let's just do something as simple as. Here is. Are they able to see this?
Yes.
What I'm doing? Okay.
Yes.
So, here's one. It's sticks.m.network. And so now we're going to have this. This is just a
placeholder.
Yeah, just a staging environment. So, don't read too much into it because, just don't read too much into it.
It's still thinking. Give it a.
So you'll see that it looks like the mnetwork.com website. And so now let's go to one of our replicating pages, right? And so you can see in the URL, it's the sticks and by end of week, it's going to say, mnetwork.com, Coreo. And yes, I can see some of you are saying, well, this doesn't look like the Coreo site that we used to have. No, it doesn't, but it's much cleaner. And so it follows more along the lines of our new branding style guides and so forth. So if we're going to do just a quick comparison, I'm going to show you what that did look like. And hopefully you won't be too terribly disappointed with the improvements. If you are, of course, I'll just refer you over to Dave. Dang it. Hold on, I can do this. Is there,
yeah, go down an arrow.
Watch Dave's computer not work like it should. Wow, dang it. Okay, we're going to do this one. This is just a dummy one.
Apologies to anyone named Scott. We don't think you're a dummy.
No, we don't. There is a problem with Dave's. The redirects are not yet in place. I'm not sure.
You'd be surprised how often that happens.
That is doing. Anyways,
Maybe
you know what it looks
surprised.
like. It just looked different, right? It looked harder. Here is
Yeah, a little darker. It was very heavy. It was the original branding, which was very dark, very heavy, very swirly. Some of the graphic elements were very swirly.
So everything is going to get the final touches here. So what you're seeing is, things that you're familiar with. Here's our weight loss page and so forth. All of these will be available to you. Let's just flash this on the screen before we go back to, you see, that's the thing about knowing where everything's at on a staging environment, is that it's just meant to look different and clean, okay? And here's an added benefit, and I think that this is really significant that you should be aware of this, is that here you can see that the URL says Stix, right? So it's got our web alias, our replicating site on it, but it's actually you get the entire company website, right? And so if you come to Opportunity, you're going to get the Opportunity page, and it's all tagged to you, so people can search through these types of things and still all be associated with you. And then when they click on the links to go shopping, it's still you. So it's not just a replicating page, right? It's really a replicating website with unlimited amounts of landing pages, which we're going to give you the links to, right? The exact same format that we followed previous, except now it will say, scott.mnetwork.com, and then whatever that wants. But at the same time, they can just go to scott.mnetwork.com, and the entire website will be your version of it. And if they go to purchase any products or request any information, it's going to go to you. So that is a significant improvement additionally in terms of what it is that was previously offered to our consultants, our members, our distributors. And I say that in all three of those terms because you're wondering, do I know whether or not we're members? I know you're members, but we have some on this call, who might be new and have previously associated themselves, either as distributors or affiliates or so.
Now, I do want to address a couple of things just off the top. That's fine.
Are we now looking at us now?
Yep. Well, they can see only us. They can't see anything pretty.
Okay.
So maybe stop typing on the machine you are disparaging. Someone's complaining about what Alan just said about me. I'm sure that was what that was. So thank you. One of the questions just came in. Can customers order from their websites now? One of the issues had been, and this is where we're confessing.
Yes.
Well, remember, evaluate all elements of that question. Can they use credit cards to place an order from their existing websites?
Yes.
Now?
All existing websites right now are working.
And this morning they were not. Or yesterday they were not. We're talking about the credit card issues.
You were not.
I was not working.
So to be very specific, because this touches home and it's my domain. Yes, we did have some issues last week, for the most part of last week, but they were resolved end of the week, over the weekend. And we have tested multiple times, and everything works in terms of the purchasing from the legacy system and the new system. Now, some of you that attempted that, or maybe retail customers who attempted this while the site was down, will have to you'll have to clear your cookies, and some of you will be like, "What does that even mean?" So that can be confusing, but it does work. But if you have essentially, I was going to say cached information, but then you would say, what is a cache?
Well, and it's, without oversimplifying it, we can't take the time right now to explain it, but it is a simple Google search.
Right.
We could spend
it's a simple
12 minutes on your Tuesday night, but the idea is if you clear your cache, clear cookies, and you can look those up in Google. It's very simple, whether you're on a Mac, a PC, an Android machine, an iPhone. Those things are readily available, and that's what we're saying. Sometimes your machine gets used to doing something a certain way, and when it gets updated and you don't know how to fix it, clearing cache or clearing cookies are options that can help clear that out.
Right. And quite honestly, it's something that every web user should get familiar with, because it's a valuable reset. If there's a problem with the website that has then been corrected by the development team, you typically have to go ahead and do that. So,
okay, really quickly. Will we have a retail page with no opportunity or join features?
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Will our names show up on replicating pages like before?
Do we want them to? Okay, that's a bad question, because I know Dave's
fire it up, Alan. Great. We only
yes.
We can't. I think we need to make available. Someone might say, look, you just met me at a grocery store. I watched you buying Red Bull. I'm making this up. If I see you buying Red Bull, I might say, oh my gosh, the calories in that, what it's doing to your liver, the carbonation, whatever, I might tell you something, and you'll say, well, what do you got for an alternative? And I bring out my handy Ghost Stick and I shake that around and I say, try this. This tastes fantastic. No jitters, only 5 calories. We could run through all the things, and they don't have to know that I'm Dave, or that I'm Davey, or that I am Davey M, loveshydration.mnetwork.com. They just need to know how to get this stuff. So I'm going to give them a business card, or I'm going to put a sticker on the sample that I give them or that I sell them, so that they then know if I go to this URL, I'm going to have a way to shop. They don't have to know that it's my name. So that's probably a simple way of saying we can make it whatever you want. Yeah. Right now, I don't think it's optional, because the existing site, blank.m.network, does include a name. That's at the upper center of all the fields. It says this person's name, and then someone's scrolling through, and then they are able to shop. So we can make that an alternate or an option, but for right now, it will still be part of the carryover. You've got an interesting shade light situation going on there.
This morning.
I mean, there's a square around your.
There is.
He's just a brighter person than I am.
There, now it looks like I'm
again
in the midst of a revelation.
Okay. We're looking at a couple of other questions. So that's where we are right now. That's where we have been, where we are right now. What can people look for as we talk about the next 30 days, 60 days, 6 months?
Well, so great question. I think that what you're going to see is the forward-facing elements right now in terms of you being able to transact business is our top priority, right? And I know that you have a number of questions and concerns that probably pertain to back office, reporting, those types of things. We're very, very mindful of that. However, what is most important is that you're able to transact business and transact it well with as few hurdles as possible. So this week, what you're going to see is all forward-facing elements that will go out to...
Forward-facing meaning what your prospects and customers see.
Right. What your prospects see, what your customers see, in terms of the company, in terms of the opportunity, in terms of the products, that will be made beautiful. It will be made solid. It will not break. And there'll be that
under promise, over deliver.
It is not likely to break.
There you go. There you go.
I'm working on it. So that's what you're going to see this week. In the next 30 days, once we've nailed that, and we've been able to run a lot of volume through it in terms of just bodies getting on and increasing our traffic loads and so forth, and we don't have any problems. We're immediately switching gears, and we're going to be focusing on back office improvements. We've certainly heard a tremendous amount of feedback with that, and those will be the next, visual components, elements that we intend to impress you with. And I think I can say with confidence that we will absolutely impress you. And you're going to be absolutely grateful that you hung on and that you're with us.
And thank you for hanging on. We know that it's hollow to say we're still a startup. We are technically still a startup, but we've made great strides, and we think we're making better strides. And we know we can see the horizon a little bit better than everybody else can, because we're working on the things that will be released. We're testing things. We're partnering with the individuals and the companies that have access to the technology that will help us. So we can see that, and like we say, it might be 3 months, 6 months out, but the very fact that we are not content, we've stated before repeatedly, we are in a state of constant improvement. Now, it's easy to be in a state of improvement when everything stinks, because things better be improving, and everything doesn't stink. Of course, I'm overstating for the sake of drama,
Right.
which we have
Right.
a little of here. But literally, all we do is try to make what we have better and improve things that exist, even if we think it's going well. You saw we had great results with Core AO for a year, and then we said we can make it better, so we did. We had great results with Trim and Burn, and we said we can make it better, and so we did. The same thing is happening. There are some questions still coming in about products getting a retail-only site.
So to answer that, every product will have its own retail-only site. Okay.
By the way, we're not promising time frames right now.
No.
Let's be clear.
Right, but
all of these kind of piggyback on each other, and
So-
we need to be focused in what we can deliver and at a reasonable time frame.
and thank you for hedging my comments. And I want to indicate that with the new system that we're deploying, is you're going to see that we have a lot more ability to enact change quicker. Okay,
Yeah.
it's within our control, within our capacity, and so within a short amount of time, we can deliver. Whereas before we were really dependent on third-party providers, and we could only go as fast as what we would put out for our partners.
Right.
And depending on what their schedules were, that's how we would be impacted. But that's absolutely changing. In the scheme of everything that we're doing, everything that is under the hood, we're really working hard to be able to not only improve it, but to get more control over it, so that everything is, we're responsive to the concerns and we can fix things immediately, right? We don't have to create a ticket.
So it's a lot like buying a car and then not finding out what's under the hood until you've had it for a few weeks, and in some cases months. And then when you realize, okay, I'm actually a mechanic, I can do, this is a lie, but someone might say,
right,
I'm a mechanic, I can do more for this car than the guys who sold it to me, so I'm going to stop taking it to that mechanic who's charging me $500 an hour just to visit, and I'm going to do that on my own. Alan is our mechanic. Alan is the guy under the hood, behind the wheel, taking care of those things, and all of those pieces, when under our collective control, Alan and his team, those results become M, not a version of someone else's product that we slap an M sticker on and then try to have you guys utilize. We want this to be an M experience, start to finish, soup to nuts. Do you know where that comes from, by the way?
No, but I've heard of nuts to bolts. How does that wrap?
Not even close, but soup to nuts, just for those of you who are uninitiated, we still have 6 minutes left in the day. The soup to nuts reference is when you have a big meal, and I want to say it's French, and you have French in your blood. We have soup to nuts means you start your big meal with nuts, and it's casual conversation. No, you start with soup.
Probably.
Soup is the first thing you have to start your meal, and then you go to entree, appetizer, main course, whatever else, and you finish with ice cream, coffee, and nuts are the last thing to give you the full visceral experience of eating. So when someone says soup to nuts, it's basically A to Z, but in a much classier way.
Are you just trying to fill time?
No, not at all. I mean, I only took a minute. Is that too much filler?
He's showing off all the time.
No, I'm educating. I'm
knowledge.
illuminating.
Thank you. I appreciate
Okay.
it. And I know everybody else does too. So the great news is that, yes, each product will have their own retail site. When we have products that are synergistic, like Burn and Trim, they will have a combined website as well as individual websites. So you're going to see a lot more. I think it'll just take you by surprise at how quick things are moving, and you'll say, well, how come they're moving so fast now and before they just weren't? Well, a lot of the reasons are because we've invested a lot of time into changing the systems and making them more manageable by our internal team. And of course, we're growing up our internal team as well. And you'll see that as there will be additional bodies that will be joining the IT team, as well as others as we naturally do grow, which we are.
So we're going to wrap up. We have a couple of questions coming in. There's our questions about back office training. Will we have back office training? Absolutely. Lester Hernando, everyone's favorite. I hope he's your favorite. I hope you get a chance to deal with him, because he is basically a nonstop worker. He's 24/7, and he's upbeat and he's positive and he knows his stuff. Lester and I are working on that training. And again, it'll be a pretty quick, brief set of modules. So it'll be how to get online, how to update your account, how to enroll, how to adjust your Blue Box subscription, It may be, doing a report or a couple of reports. Those things, instead of a 45-minute sit down and get the soup to nuts training, we want to do 2 to 3 minute trainings of individual elements so you can get confident with one, move on to the next one. We're talking about, there are other questions. The referral program is definitely in our horizon. We want it to happen. You can tell that there are things that we have not yet dominated that we need to dominate, and that's the point we move on from there. So referral program, absolutely valuable, absolutely necessary, but we also know that what we have to do are the fundamentals so that customers can order, product is delivered, commissions are paid. Right. If we're not doing one of those 3 things perfectly, we have no business trying to do 4, 5, 7, and 12. So we want to lock down those 1, 2, and 3, and we're close. We're close. Some days we hit all 3. Sometimes we have a hiccup. We want to eliminate hiccups, and then we'll start picking up and taking on more.
Right. And there was a question that was just popping up that wanted to know the integration of our systems. Will our front end and our back end integrate with our app, our Go Recruit app, our Fast Builder app, our Fast Builder platform? And the answer is yes. We're working towards all of that. Everything that is happening behind the scenes is with a mind to make sure that it's all within one environment, and that it is intelligent and that it works together, which means less work for you, but better results. So absolutely, we're definitely focused on improvements, some that you may be aware of and some that you even aren't.
And thankfully, the ones that you are aware of will be plain and obvious when they are fixed, because you'll be cheering and we'll hear the cheers from wherever we are. We'll be like Mexico when they scored the goal and registered the cheer on the Richter scale, because 30 million people in Mexico City jumped up at the same time and it registered as an earthquake. You're going to do that for M, because your issues and questions will be resolved. We are rolling through the day. We're out of time. Bill Hankey has the last question. In the old office, in the old back office, we had a lot more information available on our downline than what we're able to determine from the new office and the back office reports. We understand that, we're aware of that, and we are working on that. That is one of those things when we talk about shopping for product, delivering product, and paying commissions. We count paying commissions as that back office experience. So those are things that we're also working on, and we're not resting. Trust us, we don't think we've got it all figured out and you guys should just be happy. We think we should be happy to be working on it with you and for you, and we're eager to continue doing so until we can get an A+ in all of those areas.
Yeah, and again, from what I've seen, and I know you haven't seen it and we haven't shared it with you, but you're going to be deliriously happy.
Again, under promise.
You're going to be impressed.
I'm the one who just asked for an earthquake, so
you're going to be pleased.
I think I over promised.
All right, you're going to like it.
You're going to like it. We're all going to like it, and we're eager again to partner with you, to be with you on this great journey and this great venture going forward. Whether it's the tens of thousands of us today, or the hundreds of thousands of us next year, or the millions of us in a few years, we're excited to be with you on this journey. So thanks, everybody. I think it's Richter. R-I-C-H-T-E-R, the Richter scale, E-R. Anyway, thanks everybody. Hugs and high fives from all of us here. Before my head gets a little too much sun and I start to sunburn, we're going to say good night, goodbye, thank you, and good luck with everything you're doing. We are here to help and serve. Call that 888-383-2346 number, and I'll say it one more time, 888-383-2346. And Steph, Jesus, and Caitlin are here to help, and Lester. And we're glad to be with you. 5:30 p.m. We are signing off. Dave Webb, Alan Templeman. Good night, everybody. Take care.
Cheers.